Sean, we've been down at your gym today, and it's been a very busy gym today. You had all your young fighters in, who over the next few weeks are all going to be out.
Yeah, we've Reece Mould out against Ahmed Gaz, Rotherham there.
Looking good, don't you, Reece?
Looking very good, I think he's...
Are you happy with him being at lightweight? Because you've said it for years, haven't you?
I've said for a long time that he should never have thought that he would at featherweight. And I think he realises that now. He's a lightweight, you know, a couple of fights at lightweight will season him, and I think he'll just get better and better.
Yeah, well, he looks sharp and fast and vicious, mate.
Vicious, spiteful.
I'm looking forward to February the 10th. I'm sure we're going to have two new belts in the VIP camp.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. So,
and then I think 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, we've got young Levi Smith, a new addition to your team, and I think he makes me smiling, mate. I like him.
There's a lot to like about Levi Smith. Then I first came across him on a VIP show.
That was the one in Leeds, wasn't it?
I was commentating.
Yeah, you were.
Sure, I was commentating with Aki Karim, and I said there's a lot to like about this kid.
No, you weren't with Aki Karim. I think you was it you and Nick Manners?
I don't know. I thought it was Aki anyway. But I think I said on there that there's a lot to like about him.
He is.
And you know, he's come along. He was training with Roger Sampson in Sheffield. He's a good lad, is Roger. I think problem there was most of his work is actually in Leeds, so he works in Leeds.
Yeah, it made sense for him to come here straight to work.
Come here, yeah. So, but I think he's doing well and he's coming on. Not that there was no wrong with him, but I think just time that he's spent in the gym in and around Maxi and Josh. And
I was going to say, you know, as a young fighter, and he is a young fighter. He's 21 years old, and he's been surrounded by, obviously, hopefully Reece is going to be a champion, and you've got, you know, 2 world champions here. You can't ask for more than that, can you?
Not really, no. And I think exciting times to come, because there's still big fights for Maxi and Josh, and
well, that's what we're going to talk about later. So.
Yeah, and then after that we're taking Maxi's got his corner badge, trainer second, and Josh is just, I believe, applied for his trainer second, so it'll be a good corner for lads that are coming through here now.
Oh yeah, well, like obviously you've got young Will Harrison. I'm not sure he's out. You said 18th of March, is it?
18th of March. Will Harrison at I think it's Doncaster.
Right. Is that a Steffi Bull show? You say?
Steffi Bull show, and then there's Josh Hargreaves on VIP at Light Waves in Wakefield.
Wakefield, yeah, I think that's in April, is it? Early in April.
Early April, so we've got a busy little period.
And I've just done an interview with Steve today, and he said to me, Josh is going to be back out in June.
Probably, yeah, back in the May, beginning of June, I would think.
Right.
Another new addition as well to the gym is Jodie Wilkinson.
I seen her today. I didn't get any footage of her. She was your first lady boxer, because you've got a lady coach down here, Sam. What's Sam's surname?
Well, I'm not sure about that lady tag there, but we've got a couple of female. Yeah, Sam Smith. Very experienced is Sam.
She is.
She boxed. She's boxed herself, and I think she boxed for the European title, Sam. So a bit of experience there. She knows the stuff, and certainly you can see when she's in gym. And
she was taking the kids through a little bit of a circuit there, you know, young Will and Josh and Levi, and even though it looked very simple, it was quite a brutal one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just that. I mean, tonight was a bit of a steady away tick over, but she's very, very good at corners, Sam. And a lot of things that cameras don't see, like when we're sparring, her advice is even little bits that I miss, you know, she's quick to pick up on it, and she puts them right. Thing is though, is
great addition to the team then?
Oh, fantastic addition there to the team. We've got James Hughes as well that's come along.
He's acing, isn't he?
James is just...
He's a pit bull, isn't
he? Yeah, you wouldn't want to pinch his sandwiches,
no,
you know. But you can't make a nicer fella, both him and Sam.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb additions to the team.
So you must be excited going forward, and you know.
To be honest with you, not that I ever didn't enjoy it. But I'm enjoying it a lot more now. You know, these editions. I mean, my hands are absolutely shot now with pads. You know, I suffer terrible with them.
But was you know, your edition? You was following your son, you know, on his journey, and whether you know you got to world title level, no one expected that. But were you thinking of that's it now? Once Josh hangs up his gloves, I'll be hanging up. But that doesn't seem to be the case. This looks like you're even more enthusiastic about this sport and developing even more champions.
This little gym was supposed to be a lock-up for me and him to train, so we didn't have to travel. And we thought that when Josh were done, that was it. I were done. Then along comes Maxi Hughes, and success that Maxi's had. But I've enjoyed it. That's the thing. You've got to enjoy what you're doing. So I'm talking like you know, we're on the edge of retirement here, and we're not. There's big fights for Maxi, big fights for Josh. Reece Mould stepping up. The youngsters going out. First lady edition, it don't look like I'm retiring anytime soon, does it? So I think what we've got to do is, if we're going to train them, then we might as well do it properly. So I am excited about going forward. I'm very excited.
Like I say, I always like it in here. It's a tiny little place, busy as I don't know what today. Like I say, we had all the cameras down here for Reece. It's been a fun day today. But I keep seeing you smiling a lot more. It seems like you're enjoying it more. And I think when you enjoy something, it's not real work, is it?
No, and it's like I say, I think the additions that we've made with James Hughes there and Sam Smith, fantastic additions. I think that's all part of it. You know, it's it just brings it adds another dimension, especially when you've got people that know what they're doing, and you don't have to.
And I think they all. I mean, Sam, I think probably bring a bit of new school to the game. But there's nothing wrong with old school. I was speaking to James Hughes before, and he is old school, isn't he? And
Jimmy's old school.
He really is. I like what he talks, and when he talks about it, you know, and some of the pads that you see him doing, you know, there's nothing fancy. There's nothing. It's just everything is
just old school,
real.
It's
real. You know what I mean? I can see what he's doing, and I can see it working in the ring, and that's what I like. But what I came to talk to you about more than anything was, well, before we talk about that, because we want to talk about Josh, Maxi, what's happening with him, mate?
Well, Maxi, as you know, has been on that winning run. I think it's 8 or 9 fights now.
Against everyone that he shouldn't win.
Everybody that he shouldn't beat. And Eddie's exact words were, Maxi beats Galad, he says, it's going to be life-changing money, life-changing fights for him. That's really not transpired. His manager Steffi spoke to Matchroom a couple of days ago, and they gave us one name and said, basically, that's it. If we don't fight him, there's no deal. So, you know, it seems now like everything Eddie said is not really transpired. It's not going to transpire.
Obviously, we're not going to mention names, but is it an attractive fight that for you?
Not really. It's less than we fought Galad for. Which really, for me, it's very, very poor. You know, I would have expected more from him, to be honest. But you know, I think lately DAZN and Matchroom seem to be taking the foot off at gas. You know, it's just don't seem to input on the drive that were there when we were first with them. You know, it's I don't know. I think it's a little bit now like, you know, people go to work and they just go through motions.
I think maybe they spread themselves thin because they're all over the world now, aren't they? And maybe that's a hard thing. Whether you think it'd make things easier because you've got more choice to, you know, put the fighters together. But maybe I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not slagging them here. I'm not really knocking them, but I'm just saying how I feel. You know, that's what it seems like to me, that they all seem to just go through motions. Get this fight done, boom, on to the next, get this fight done, on to the next. Which for them and for the business, yeah, I suppose it's right way, but you know, you can't go promising people live on cameras and then really.
But hopefully, when would you like him to be out?
I'd like Maxi to be out back end of April, maybe May, you know.
Right.
Or even on same card as Josh, you know. But like I say, I just want best. Well, he's earned it. If there's one guy in boxing that's earned it, it's Maxi.
Yeah, he has, and he's a lovely,
and
lovely
he has
man.
earned it, you know.
Well,
But when you know, for somebody like Eddie or Matchroom, DAZN, or whoever said it, to come out and say live that Maxi Hughes is now going to earn life-changing money, life-changing fights, it's just words to a promoter. But when you say that to a fighter that's grafted all his life, and by God, Max is grafted, they kind of hang on to that a little bit, don't they?
well, hopefully it will materialise and he gets those big fights. I'd love him to fight one of the big names. I think he's earned the right to fight one of these, you know, these American legends. And you know, why can't he win? He's not supposed to beat anyone else before that, has he?
I think the thing is that you know and I know, he don't sell thousands of tickets. He don't go shouting his mouth off all over. You know what I mean? He don't set drugs.
But he's a beautiful boxer, though.
Don't set drugs. Yeah, there's no controversy now, Maxi.
No.
And I think, honestly, to be honest,
it's sad that, isn't it? That
it is really.
you live a good lifestyle and it backfires on you because you're not popular. You're not the.
But what a fighter is. Do you know
wonderful.
what? Even if I'd have done nothing, if Josh had never been involved in boxing, like, I'd have come into boxing, I'd have quite happily been with Maxi Hughes, achieved what he's achieved. And if he called it a day, then I'd have been happy. Because I'd have felt like I've achieved. I think Maxi Hughes is as big an achievement as what we've done with Josh.
Yeah. Well,
I really do. Really do.
Well, yeah, because the guy had 5 losses on his record and became a world champion. And that doesn't happen. Not in this modern era.
No, it don't really. And, but he's not right for it. He's not being fed a load of mugs and then there's a big fight. He's not. He's grafted. He's had to fight every fight. You know.
And he's a top man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a joy to be around. I presume when I come down here, he always has a smile on his face. So, but February the 18th, massive fight, because the winner of that fight, I presume, will be looking to fight your son.
Lara Wood.
Yeah.
Lara Wood, yeah. Well, I would hope so.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, it does for me, yeah.
Because
and it does for Josh.
I don't think it matters who wins in that fight. It's a huge fight on either whether it's Lee Wood that wins, because then it's a fantastic, you know, domestic world title fight, you know, between 2 British kids, or it's a rubber match with Lara, a third fight.
Either now, this is where it makes it difficult for me and makes it difficult for Josh. I like Lee Wood. I can't find anything about Lee Wood to moan about, complain about, slagging for. I can't. I do like Lee Wood. And I like Ben Davison as well. Whatever anybody said, they're alright lads. For that reason I want them to win.
Yes.
There again, the gobshite from Mexico. He knows that second fight will go in one way and one way only. And he did everything. He didn't want to be in there. So I would love to fight Lara. But I can't, you know, it's one of them.
Well, who do you think will win? Come on.
I think Lee's going to beat him.
Yep.
I do think Lee's going to beat him. What he's got to do, Lee, is not get involved early doors. Right? Well, everybody knows what Lara's about now, so he should be alright with this. We didn't know what it was about. We'd done 4 camps, 4 dates. We'd been ticking over for 16, 17 months when we fought him. 3 weeks out, I had my concerns. Things just weren't right for whatever reason. COVID era. Josh had COVID. Like I say, we'd done all them camps, as had Kanzu. Now we're seeing Josh fall against Lara. We saw Kanzu fall against Lee Wood. Under normal circumstances, that wouldn't have happened. Kanzu was a shadow of for myself, and so was Josh. So you had 2 fighters that should have been fighting each other.
Did you see enough in the fight against, in the rematch with Lara? Did you see enough in that 2 rounds to have the confidence that the next time we'll beat him?
Oh, absolutely. Them 2 rounds there that were at it, I were happy with. I mean, he come flying again, very aggressive, but he were all over the place and he were wide open for counters and everything. But yeah, I saw enough there. I thought this is going to be a comfortable win.
So you're saying you think Lee Wood will win. You hope he'll win.
Hope he wins.
But it doesn't really matter who wins, because either fight is a huge fight for Josh.
Either fight's a big fight for Josh. It really is. I mean, we'd love that crack at Lara again. Obviously,
Just to put it to bed.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming out with shite, really. He's just a gobshite, isn't he? He's coming out with stuff that we've disrespected his dad, calling him a wanker or something. It's a load of bollocks. That just might have called me a wanker. He might have got confused. It might have been lost in translation.
Well then,
It might have heard something like El Wanker on about me. You know what I mean? But we'll never do that. We don't know his dad. We don't know who his dad is. We would never ever disrespect anybody's father like that, and we wouldn't. You know what I mean?
What's your take on Josh's last performance? For me, obviously he started off slow in the fight, but the way he finished the fight was like a champion does, you know, and I presume I felt like he'd won those last 4 rounds and made it very close, and I was surprised that he didn't get the decision. What was your take on that fight?
Really echoing what you just said there. We did start a little bit slow. That, believe it or not, was part of the plan. That this guy, if he's going to catch it, it'll be early doors, so we'll put his defence in place and then we'll start going to work. With that in mind, maybe I got it wrong. I think also there was a little bit of apprehension from Josh to get going. I think we maybe left it around too late to get going, and I think that was down to the mental thing with his jaw, that he didn't want to. I think he was a little bit overprotective of that, but as you say, we came into it. I thought we still did enough to win it.
That's what I was going to ask you. My next question: Did you think he won?
Absolutely.
Because we was on a show. We had a show in Liverpool on the same night, and I was listening to the tail end of the fight on the Talk Sport, and we had, I think, Barry Jones and Carl Frock were commentating on it, like, and at the end of the fight, Barry Jones thought he might have pulled it back to a draw. But Carl Frock had 4 rounds up. He had it 116, 112.
Well, listen, Barry Jones always goes against me anyway. With Maxi Hughes or Josh or anyone, he never gives it in my favour. Barry Jones. But I still like him. You know what I mean?
I like him a lot, actually.
I do like him, but so that didn't really surprise me that Barry had said that it was a draw. People see things differently, don't they?
So what did you thought it was? What did you think the end result should have been?
I thought we won it by 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely won it by 2.
I think being the champion and being in your home, and I know that people say that's wrong, but because of the way he finished the fight, I couldn't see it not going his way.
Well, one of the rounds were called 20 seconds early when we had him rolling. I like Bob as well, referee. You know, it's hard. I don't want to sit here and slag anybody. I don't like Bob as a good referee, but on that particular night, that particular fight, he wanted his best.
Well, there was a lot of complaining from
he was falling for it.
Lopez.
He was falling for it. He was stopping it. He won't watch.
Got punched in the buttocks.
Punched in buttocks. I don't know how we do that. But I said to Josh, his company, I said, yeah, we'll do it again. I said, because I didn't see it. You know what I mean? Controversial, really, but I think if this sounds a little bit controversial as well. I remember Conlon and Lee Wood. Ben Davison can't have come away from that fight thinking Lee Wood did marvellous, because he got that one punch in the dying seconds. I'd have been concerned about the previous 11 rounds, because he got beat every round and then pulls that one off. That's what champions do, though, isn't it?
Yep.
But I wouldn't have been happy coming away with that.
No.
Josh stopped Kiko when he won world title for the second time. Smashed him all over. Stopped him.
It reminded me of when he beat
come out,
Frampton. Phenomenal the way he come out
with a broken hand and a broken jaw. So what I happy with that? Not really. Then it comes to this. I'm always looking for a better performance than the previous fight. It comes to this one where he comes out, no injuries. He's raising his game right to the last bell. Should have won it but didn't. Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah.
That's it. So we're
So
still
the future's bright then,
future's bright.
because like you say, there's a winner of that. I don't think there was a rematch clause with Lopez, was there? Because he was mandatory, wasn't he?
Yeah, we're mandatory. There were no rematch clause. We've asked for a rematch and he's refused. They keep coming out with this dirty fighter, dirty fighter. Come on, anybody who watched that fight, there's nobody dirtier than him. Nobody complained about him being a dirty fighter when he stuck head on Andy Vences in fight previous and split Vences. Yeah, anybody who thinks that we're dirty fighters, they need to watch him against Andy Vences when he went flying in wet head. I mean, you saw him there. He did everything he could.
I must admit there was a lot of moaning, and I don't like moaning because I think you're giving a signal away to your opponent that you're doing something right, if you know what I mean, because you're hurting them. You don't complain when you're winning, do you?
No, do you fuck? No, you don't. Tell you one guy I'm not really happy with, a guy called Richard Farnham is here from Swindon or something. What they've done is they've opened their gym up and they accommodate overseas fighters, which is good because we need overseas fighters. But very, very vocal on social media there, and even to the point of saying, and we've got it there screenshotted, that he's been speaking to judges and making them aware, and referees, about how dirty we fight. Is that not an infringement? Is that against rules? I don't know.
Is aggression dirty?
Well, that was according to Richard Farnham, and at the end of the fight he came and shook my hand. I told him to fuck off. I said, you've been slagging us all week and now you want to shake my hand, go fuck off. Apparently I'm a sore loser.
Well,
but that's one thing that we'll be looking into anyway, because as far as I'm aware, you shouldn't really be trying to influence judges or referees prior to world title fights. So
it looks like we've got a very busy few months for you with all your young fighters, and then hopefully some big dates for Maxi Hughes and your son Josh Warrington.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it anyway. Summer's coming as well, I'm told.
I hope so. I'm glad you got that heater on, mate, because it's freezing, mate.
Well, that's what I'm sat under here with my hat on, keeping myself warm. But yeah, it's spring's coming. We're very, very busy throughout the spring with fights, and it's looking like the summer fight in June, stadium fight. If it's Lara, it could be Ellen Road. If it's Lee Wood, it could be Nottingham. And I like Nottingham.
Well, hopefully, I'm just going to find out. Man United are playing Nottingham Forest tonight in the FA Cup. I think it's the semi-finals, and we were 1-0 up. Rashford scored, so I'll have to check on the car and find out how we've done.
Well, I had 2-0 up. Somebody at the gym said it was 2-0 up. We're going on watch second half.
I'll go home. My wife will be very, very happy because she's a big Man United fan. And I've really enjoyed myself down here. I always enjoy myself down here. And hopefully I'm going to be enjoying myself on February the 10th when Reece becomes the new English and WBC international champion.
Is it WBC?
I think it is.
I thought it was WBA.
Oh well, I might be wrong then. I might be wrong. I've just done an interview about it, so what do I know? But I know. I thought it was the IBO. That's what I was originally.
I thought it was IBO because we were taking piss about him challenging Maxi for a full one.
Yeah. But,
so yeah.
Well, that's what I got told originally, and then Reece just said to me. So it's. I know it's. It's
summer, isn't it? It's for summer.
Yeah, it's a big. Listen, it's a world ranking, and that's what's important.
Yeah, Reece is. It's almost like he's a fresh, rejuvenated.
He is.
Reborn,
he's smiling, mate. He's smiling.
Reece Mould. You never see Reece smiling.
No, he's a miserable
little bastard, is Reece. But he's vicious and he's spiteful now with them.
He is, isn't he, mate?
Punches. Yeah. I mean, we've had, what's at press day, they were all on about, well, we've seen you against Jordan Ellison. Listen, Jordan Ellison was a last-minute replacement. He's always fit. He's always in shape.
He was also down because he just missed out on this fight that's happening now. That should have been there. It wasn't happening until he put on that show.
That one after Ahmed Gazard pulled out again, and fight got kind of downgraded. Couldn't get anybody. Jordan Ellison comes in last minute, and let me tell you something. I would love to have Jordan Ellison in this gym because I believe Jordan Ellison, if he didn't want to go down making a few quid though, he's a very, very good fighter. He's a very good kid. And in fact, he just proved it because... And I'd challenge anybody to fight Jordan Ellison. Just before Christmas, or was it November, I'm not sure when it was, he went and beat Dylan Chima, who'd won the prize fighter tournament. Very, very good fighter.
And he's proved it. I mean, I remember on our show in Hull, he gave Lou Sylvester, who's a quality kid, and gave him a real run for his money. I don't think the scorecards had it quite right, but I also think the scorecards were a little bit harsh on Reece when he fought him, because I think he had it a little bit closer than I had it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't complain. Depending on how he said, I always look at it from my side and I look at it from a different angle, and I thought really, yeah, maybe it was a little bit closer than what it should have been.
Because he gave him a share of 2 rounds, and 2 rounds he won. So because he was 17-9, 76, wasn't it? But anyway, he, as you just said before, can't knock Jordan Ellison. Love him. He's caused lots of upsets on the VIP shows.
Yep.
I remember when he beat Colin Day, who was unbeaten at the time, and then he drew with him in the rematch, and then he caused a massive upset when he beat Sean Dodd. So the kid, and not long ago he won the Northern Area title, didn't he? Central Area, the Northern Area title.
I mean, for Ahmed Gaz and his outfit to kind of disrespect Jordan Ellison, they're calling him a journeyman, and
He's
that
not.
indicate
It's far from it.
It's far from being a journeyman. Listen, let me tell you, once we've beat him, then he might have to fight Jordan Ellison on comeback, so be careful what you say. You know what I mean?
We'll leave it on that note.
We'll leave it on that one, eh?
Sean, it's always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much. And like I say, I hope I'll see you down there on the 10th.
I'll see you there, we'll be there.
Do a little bit of celebrating, mate.
No worries, Lee, thank you.
Take care, mate.
Cheers,
Bye.
bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.